Coming up on Dig It, Woody got to DJ at Billie Piper's birthday party. Could it
God.
be any cooler?
Did you clamp his car?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, you got someone else to clamp the car. We have these gorgeous dolls that were made for us by Jennifer Jackson Dolls. He's now removed me, and this is how I am looking now. I look like something from Mad Max.
All of that right after this.
Dig It is sponsored by Visit Scotland and TripAdvisor. Zoe, when was the last time you went to Scotland? And what did you love about it?
Last time I went to Scotland was last year. I did a little driving trip where I went to the Isle of Skye just on my own. Had the most amazing time driving around all the lochs and the scenery. And so, yeah, I drove onto the Isle of Skye, explored all the little bays and all the shops. And Scotland to me is magnificent scenery.
It's magnificent, isn't it? My daughter India and Alex, her boyfriend, did a trip all around the different islands, and they came back and the photographs made me so envious. Steve and I are just absolutely determined to go on our own journey to go and see these incredible beaches. I honestly thought they could have been in the Maldives or some remote Isle of Scilly, but it wasn't. It was Scotland. They went to the Isle of Arran. The beaches were white, like the sand was white. The sea was turquoise, crystal. It was absolutely breathtaking. They're both big foodies, so they were just so excited about eating oysters, like you said. Apparently there was a castle by the ferry port to Arran where they were eating mussels and clams, and they said it was one of the best experiences when it comes to eating that they've ever had in their lives. They loved it. They were just waxing lyrical. It's just made me really, really keen to go and explore Scotland myself.
Also, after watching Traitors, when the guys are all out doing the missions, those amazing drone shots of the scenery. 1 minute in Scotland, you can be in fantastic forest. The next, you're exploring the Munros, doing a loch tour, going around. I remember going to Oban and going to the distillery and being taught how to drink whiskey properly.
And you needed teaching.
So much. Yes, well, I needed teaching. You don't drink it as a binger.
No, true.
And it was so enjoyable, and having fresh oysters. Oh, wonderful. But there's so many areas of Scotland that I've still yet to see. A dream has always been to go to the Five Farms in Braemar and, explore the Cairngorms.
Oh my God, my grandparents you've just reminded me, like these memories. My grandparents used to talk about the Cairngorms all the time and their trips to Scotland, and they used to drive, and they had an old Triumph, and this would have been in like the 60s, and they'd drive from the Midlands, from Northampton all the way up to Scotland, and they would just do this odyssey, staying, I guess, in B&Bs. That's probably what they did at the time, but they talked about it all their lives. So I would like to do some kind of a pilgrimage as well and see the Cairngorms. I don't actually know what to expect.
I know. I think it's absolutely stunning. To explore more, go to tripadvisor.co.uk/Scotland.
Hi Zoe, happy Wednesday. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, thank you. It's hard to concentrate though because I'm just busy watching the ginger assassin, Nemo.
Let's watch him in action, shall we? And I'll explain what he's doing right now. So we have these gorgeous dolls that were made for us by Jennifer Jackson Dolls. He's now removed me from the table just to my side. I found me on the floor the other day and my hair is completely up, like standing on end, and he's just run away with it right now. And he was going for you earlier on, but the way I look right now, so my hair is just literally standing at all different angles in the air. That's exactly how I feel in the build up to Christmas right now, just utterly frazzled and losing control. And he just seems to, he's coming for you. He's got me and he's coming for you, I reckon.
I'm really concerned that he's going to find you later with an arm missing or something or other, and that it'll turn into some kind of voodoo doll situation where we'll both find we've got more ailments that the more we're attacked by Nemo. But I know what you mean. It's that sort of slight, kind of frazzled, electric kind of my hair. I got to keep going. We've got 4 more weeks till. Is it 4 weeks till Christmas?
Yes. Talking of frazzled, you must be feeling Have you recovered from the weekend? Because happy birthday belatedly, by the way. It looked like you had the most beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous birthday weekend. Tell me about
I
it.
loved it. Thank you for my beautiful candle, and thank you, Dig It Gang, for my beautiful red roses. I loved them. Yeah, Joe, you know me so well. A big candle turned up and everyone was like, who's that from? I'm like, it's from Joe. She knows me well.
It will last you a while.
Oh, I know. And it's one of my favourite smells as well.
Feu de bois is the smell of Christmas and winter, I think. So that's why I chose it for you.
It really is, isn't it? It's that lovely smoky smell. I love my birthday weekend. Not necessarily because I'm getting older, but you know what? It's just a number now and I don't seem to mind as much. But I share my birthday weekend with lots of my favourite people. It's Heather, who does my makeup, who I love. Heather B.
She's great.
So she's this weekend. My nephew Stan, it's his birthday this weekend. And then my one of my best buddies, Snowy. She's quite a few years younger than me, but she's the day after. So what we do, Snow and I get together and we get all our girlfriends together and all our kids. And we make a weekend of it. So every year we look forward to it. And quite a few of my friends have had a really tough time of it recently for various different reasons with it, with families and with loss and all sorts. And we really haven't seen a lot of each other. So it was fantastic to get together with all our kids. And it was just a weekend of feasts.
What did you do? Tell us what you did, yeah.
So you know how I've been talking about the fact that I don't cook very much and I've suddenly got into cooking. And I made these Emily English pies, one with chili, one without chili for the kids. And my mates, it was so great to see them all being like, oh my God, this is really good. This is really edible. They came back for seconds. They were like, who are you? I'm like, I know, look at me.
Oh, wow. Pastry and everything.
Yeah, can I just say it's the puff. It's the ready rolled. I just threw it over the top. But you should have seen me. It was like domestic goddess. So we had those feasts and then we did bowling. People went swimming. People kind of went shopping. And then we went out for a big meal on Saturday night. Really lovely pub called the Ginger Pig around the corner. And we took the kids as well because our kids are all growing up. And I wasn't sure if it was going to work. It's like the kid, because some of the kids are a bit younger. I was like, are they going to be really bored? And hilariously, there were 3 adults on the kids' table. Me and my mate Ian, Dino and Nikki were like, oh, there's no room on the adults' table. We'll go on the kids' table. But it was so fun and we laughed a lot. And then we all headed back to mine. And the next gen DJ'd. So basically my nephew Ronnie is an amazing garage DJ. And
how old is he?
He's 16. He's going to be 17 soon. He is so good. We're absolutely mind blown at how amazing he is. He opened up with a remix of Radiohead's Everything in Its Right Place, which obviously went down a storm because we were all missing Radiohead gigs this weekend. He's so cool. And then Nellie's boyfriend, Jacoby, is a DJ as well. So they did sort of back to back and we had all the adults. Because the thing is, it's often quite tricky when you've got like a house party of what to play. Because I always think I'm going to make a playlist, but I never get around to it. So the kids set up in the kitchen and all the adults danced around. They were fantastic. So really proud of them.
Yeah.
And we were laughing because we were all crazy ravers back in the day, us lot. And half of my friends are DJs and we were all like, the baton is most definitely passed. On they go.
What time did it end? When did you get to bed?
Well, I think the adults, we lasted till 1. I'm not as hardcore as you lot in the minuscule of sound. Honestly, I was just so shattered. But Woody, okay, so Joe, you're a Whovian family. You guys love Doctor Who. We've loved Doctor Who forever. And Woody's sort of first Doctor Who was, of course, Christopher Eccleston. And his favourite Doctor Who assistant was Rose Billy Piper. At the weekend, Woody got to DJ at Billy Piper's birthday party. Could it be any cooler? He absolutely adores her.
God.
And he couldn't believe it. It was like, we're all like, what? What? How come we don't get to come? And he got back and he was just buzzing. And he was saying how she'd been he said at one point she was just dancing on her own. And he was like, oh my God, it's just like a private, DJ just for Billy Piper.
Him and Rose.
I know. And he said she was gorgeous. She was so lovely to him. And Graham Norton was really lovely to him. And the only thing that had slightly upset him was one of his favourite Doctor Who's, David Tennant, was also there. And he was like, Mum, I don't think David Tennant liked my music because I think he left early. But then I got a message from Fern Cotton, and she was there and she's like, oh, don't worry, David and Georgia always leave parties early. And because Woody was like, oh God, David Tennant hated my music. Because of course he loves David Tennant as well. But I mean, kudos to Woo. That is like...
That's amazing. Amazing. What a gig to get. Yeah, it literally doesn't get any better than that, does it?
I know. And he was telling me about some of the people there. He was just like, what? This is my life. So thank you so much to Billy. You made my boy's life. He is so, so chuffed. And we're all really, really proud of him. So, and he wore this new jacket that I'd bought him as a belated birthday present, early Christmas present.
He looks cool. What a great photograph.
And his crazy mullet, because he went to this cowboy party and someone shaved his head and then he shaved someone else's head. But it's growing back and he's really growing into the mullet. And we're all like, this mullet is actually quite cool. Not that I'm tempted to try it myself. But then, bless him, his car got clamped outside the house. So he couldn't drive back to Bristol last night. So he's had to stay. So I have both my kids.
Did you clamp his car?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, you got someone else to clamp the car.
I've got a big sticker. Leave. Well, I've realised that this is actually an excellent thing because often he has to drive home. He'll have DJ, then he comes and stays, and then he has to get back all the way to Bristol. It's a long journey. And I always worry about him on rainy, horrible nights driving, as you do. You worry about your kids. So maybe this is the idea. Just get a fake clamp your kids, and then they can never leave home. Because, of course, they wouldn't come and unclamp it on a Sunday. So he had to wait till today. So last night, I finished my amazing birthday weekend with all my kids home, and we made a roast. In fact, I was the domestic goddess this weekend. I'm quite proud of myself, actually.
You did the roast as well.
But I've had so many fantastic presents. My friends all know me so well now, and lots of things for the garden, lots of plants. Woody made me a playlist. Such a great present. If you're broke, right, and you don't know what to get someone this Christmas, because Christmas can be so expensive, making people playlists. It's one of our favourite things in the family, because it takes a little bit of care and love, and everybody likes different music, and it's a great way to find new music. So Nellie bought me a basket of goodies, which included, she knows me so well, cans of cocktails, chocolates, and fluffy bed slipper socks.
Cool.
So I have been spoilt rotten. And another one of my favourite things as a gift was this. I mean, at which point I should say, like, a comedy line. Yes, I clamped Woody's car. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, that might have to be for my sister. She loves sound effects.
Yes, sound effects. You know, end of a gag around the Christmas table. I mean, it's absolutely genius. So, yeah, I have been spoilt rotten, and it was so lovely to see all my friends and dance and laugh and my friend Snow made a little speech which made us all quite emotional because we've had a lot of loss amongst our friends, and she just said, look, we are so lucky to all be together. And, you know, some of us have known each other for about 30 years, 25 years. And, you know, our kids are all growing up and they're doing great. And we're like, we are so blessed. We are so lucky. So we really should take this moment and celebrate it. And we were all like, ah. And then everyone had loads of cocktails and felt great. But I tell you what, though, the recovery...
Sorry, Zoe, can I just say Nemo's taken you now?
Have I gone down?
Your dollar's gone. You're going to look a hell of a lot more dishevelled, and your arm might fall off during the recording of this podcast. By the way, if you do enjoy hanging out with us every week, then make sure you're subscribed on YouTube or hit follow on Apple or Spotify. And then the latest episode will just pop up as soon as they're out. So it's really easy. If you want to be part of this crazy gang that we're creating right now, then just subscribe on YouTube and hit the follow on Apple or Spotify. We went away for the weekend and it was me and India and Coco.
Oh, girls' trip. That's lovely.
Yeah, it was really, really lovely. Yeah, because, there's loads of stuff going on at the moment and we had planned as a family to go away for the weekend, but we were just knackered. We were just so unbelievably tired and everyone's working so hard and everyone's a bit done in. And so we just decided, the three of us, just to go away and stay overnight on the Friday night, have a spa day. That's what we did. We went,
yes.
And then Saturday we came back and we watched War of the Roses, actually, the Roses film with Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. And it was just so nice to be in the house on the sofa together. And then yesterday we went and saw Wicked. I loved Wicked. I could not have loved it more. It felt so much about female friendship and the link and sisterly friendship and just that bond between two women who know each other so deeply. And yeah, it just reduced me to tears. And Coco was the same, sitting by my side. And then India was next to her and we were just in pieces. And I loved it. I really, really enjoyed every single second. I went with Steve and Cass. Cass loves science fiction. Steve loves pulp fiction. And they were both sitting there just going, what the is going on with this film?
Bless them. It also stars the sexiest man alive, who might happen to live quite near various members of my family and has become like a Brighton favourite. Yeah, I sometimes see him running. Jonathan Bailey, he is such a gorgeous man and he's just been voted the sexiest man alive. And he was the topic of conversation at the dinner on Saturday night because one of my mates, two of my mates, Nikki and Dino, they live quite near him. And they'd had this whole conversation because there's been sort of money put on whether he will become the new James Bond. So there was this huge conversation about, well, I think our bet might be a total failure now because we're not sure. And I'm like, hey, you never know, because and there was this whole conversation about, is he the sexiest man alive? And it's like, well, actually, he is so charming, so sexy, so talented, and really adorable. He's a really great chap. And then suddenly everyone was like, this huge, big, like 30 people discussing Jonathan Bailey, the sexiest man alive. And everybody decided that they would quite like him to be the new James Bond. And also everyone was discussing sort of Christmas and New Year's Eve and, parties and everyone was like, can we invite the sexiest man alive to the New Year's Eve party?
If he's your neighbour, amazing.
Do you think he would come?
He is charming. He's got the twinkle in the eye. He's not kind of dirty, rugged, sexy. He's just really charming and handsome and gorgeous. And I heard him on Scott Mills being interviewed and they were so flirty. And I'm guessing if he's going to go anywhere for New Year's Eve, I reckon he'll be around at Scott Mills.
He'll be around at Scott
and Sam's house. I think so. I think, there was definitely a good friendship going on there. They were laughing so much. It was really funny.
That could be a good New Year's Eve party because Scott is in panto with Lavoie.
Oh my God.
So,
I would love to go to that.
Couldn't get a better party. And also, just quickly, while we mentioned Lavoie, can I just say I'm so devastated for Lavoie to go out of Strictly because she's had an injury to her foot, so she couldn't perform at Blackpool. And then they were hoping that she could come back the week after with her partner Ali Ash, and sadly isn't able to come back. So
and I love
Lavoie
Ali
had
Ash.
to bow out. I know, and Ali Ash gave this most beautiful speech, and Lavoie is amazing. And he was saying how, sort of 5 days a week he would dance with Chris, and then at the weekend he would dance with Lavoie, and how they both had become so special in his life. And Chris used to do my makeup on the makeup counter in a popular department store, and I'm so proud of Chris and everything that he's done.
Yeah.
So, go see Lavoie in panto with our Scott Mills. I think in High Wycombe they're doing it.
Yeah, it is High Wycombe, yeah.
Just quickly, can I just say Blackpool Strictly I had to watch it late yesterday and I was getting messages like, don't tell me. Some of the greatest performances I have seen on Strictly.
Oh, weren't they lovely?
They were incredible. Lewis Cope was phenomenal with Katya. I was thinking it can't get any better than that. Full 40. Karen Carney and Carlos doing this Paso Doble that was so, it was like art. The staging of it, she was phenomenal. And George Clark, I was really chuffed that George got really great marks because I think he's worked really hard and I think he's had quite a tough time. And Nell was like, yes, George, because she absolutely adores him. And Alex, talking about her story, and they were all so good. I've already forgotten someone and I feel really bad because I hate missing people out. And then they had some of the legends come back. Ashley, Leighton, Danny Mack, and Jay all came back and did a routine together. Like, they do need to do an all-star series. They really should. They were so good.
Yeah, they should. They were great, yeah. I loved that Jay's dance. It was a Pulp Fiction dance, wasn't it?
So so amazing.
was
And
really
Danny
good.
Mac, who looks better than I think he's ever looked.
One of the best gigs I've ever seen was the Killers at Blackpool.
You're
It was
joking.
amazing. It was it was so good. Oh my God. He did a radio show and it was taking the Killers to Blackpool just because they obviously come from Vegas and we were taking them to the Vegas of the UK. So
brilliant.
we took them there and we took them we took them to the fair. We took them on a carriage. We went all the way down the seafront with Brandon and Ronnie in a carriage, and the pair of them looked so utterly bewildered. They were looking around like, "What the? This is not Vegas at all.
This is not Vegas."
No. And then we got on this fairground ride. I've told this story before, but we got on a fairground ride, and it was one of those scream if you want to go faster things. So Ronnie and Brandon and me on this ride, and it starts to go round, and you could suddenly see Brandon and Ronnie's people just going, "No, get them off. Okay, no, slow me down. Stop the machine. So it kind of ground to a halt.
You're going to kill the Killers.
I have got photos somewhere. I'll dig them out. I'll see if I can stick them on our Substack.
You should.
One other thing I just wanted to say, when we went away, I went away with India and Coco, and it was really beautiful, and we needed this kind of special time together, and we were all in this bed together, and we were all just drifting off to sleep, and I was in the middle, of course, with both my girls either side, and India just went, "This has been such a special time, this female energy, it's just what I needed." And I thought, never going to forget that line, because it was exactly what we needed.
Oh.
But we also got to see Lady Gagote, which is, I don't know whether you saw the photographs of Lady Gaga stayed at this really lovely place in the UK, which is Soho Farmhouse. That's where we went to, Soho Farmhouse. And there are these goats there, and there were photographs of Lady Gaga with the goat. And now this goat's become like a celebrity. So in there,
Brilliant.
I took a photograph of Lady Gagote, and she was looking very regal and enjoying her fame, enjoying her celebrity.
Fantastic. Did she come over and bleat out telephone for you at some point? I feel like they should dress her up.
So sorry, I had to just stop and try and locate us, because our little dolls that are made in the image of us. And this is from the photo that we did, the very first photo shoot that we did together. So you're in the lovely kind of coral top. It's a shirt, and then I've got a blue shirt on. So it's kind of that's our image. The dolls are made like that. They stand by my side to the right when we're doing the podcast, if people watch it. And Nemo has stolen them and has just destroyed me in particular. So this is how I am looking now. I look like something from Mad Max.
You're looking positively wanton, I would say.
I've kind of got a mohawk. There you go, Mohican.
I think it's not a bad look. Oh, he's restyling
geez.
you. That's all it is.
You're okay. He hasn't destroyed you yet, but I'm going to put you back in place, and I guarantee by the end of the podcast you will also have a Mohican. Right, we're going to take a quick break for some ads. Ow! Genuinely.
At the moment, if you're listening to this, I am watching a very small, delightful red kitten completely destroy Joe Wiley.
I'm so
He's
sorry.
probably going to be shut out of the room any minute now.
Yeah, he definitely won't be taking part in next week's podcast.
He is such a handful.
As I was saying, we're going to take a quick break for some ads.
If you'd like these episodes ad-free, why not become a subscriber to The Potting Shed?
You will get longer episodes, bonus content, and also early access to our live shows, which should be happening next year.
But most importantly, you'll be supporting the show.
To subscribe, head to digitpod.co.uk or tap the link in the show notes. Now, Zoe, I don't know about you, but this time of year always feels a bit/a lot frantic.
Completely. There's this expectation to be everywhere for everyone, kids, friends, work. I know Christmas is all about giving, but I think we've earned a bit of receiving, don't you?
Absolutely. Sometimes we're juggling so much that we forget to actually look after ourselves.
Menopause Your Way at QVC is the perfect place to find that moment of calm. From indulgent self-gifting with L'Occitane, Elemis and Molten Brown to advice from menopause experts on sleep and relaxation.
I love that they've created a whole section dedicated to women in midlife, especially those of us in that so-called sandwich generation, taking care of everyone else and often putting our own needs last.
Exactly. And their shop by symptom tool makes it really easy to discover what might actually help, whether that be product for peaceful sleep, skincare to make you glow, and loads more.
The most thoughtful gifts are the ones that you actually treat yourself to.
I've got a few on my self-gift list, like the Aveda Rosemary Mint Shampoo for sure. It smells heavenly.
And also I'm loving the Neon Magnesium Body Butter, which is just pure bliss. Remember, with QVC's extended money-back guarantee, you've got until the 31st of January to decide if it's right for you.
To explore more, search menopause at qvcuk.com and don't forget to use the code QDIG10 for £10 off your first purchase over £30.
That's QDIG10, QDIG10 for £10 off your first order over £30. For full terms, visit the QVC website.
Give the gift of calm to someone you love or yourself. Obviously, the gardens have taken a bit of a battering with the crazy weather of late.
Yeah.
And I got my tulips in, luckily, just before the frost came. But Lee Johnston, a.k.a. the Beardy Gardener, who's wonderful, is here to show us things we can do to stay sane in the garden during the darker winter months.
Hi, Joe and Zoe. Lee here, otherwise known as the Beardy Gardener. Now, I'm a fully paid up member of what I call the Winter Wobbles Club. My mood does dip around this time of year, but I've got some top tips to help you use the garden to stay sane this winter. So the first tip is stop and notice. Winter seems quiet, but actually there's still life all around us. So on your next outdoor walk around your garden or on the way to work, just pick something, a leaf, a piece of grass, a seed head, and just stop and look at it for a minute. Feel it. Notice the texture, look at the patterns and the shapes. It is surprisingly calming. Next up is feed the birds. Now, nothing gives me more joy at this time of year than a robin swooping down and giving me a bit of side eye as I turn over the compost heap. High energy foods like sunflower hearts, fat balls, are vital for birds at this time of year. And I think feeding birds is like free therapy. Next tip is mindful mulching. So gather all of the leaves that are around this time of year and scatter them around your borders. It's a quick task that doesn't take too much time, but helps you feel productive. Plus, it'll make a really nice cozy duvet for all of that wildlife over the winter. Bring the outside in. Having greenery in your house at this time of year really lifts your mood. Cut some stems from some evergreens, grab some seed heads, ivy, and create a wildflower arrangement for your kitchen table. It doesn't have to be anything fancy because nature does all the hard work for you. And finally, have a cup of tea outside, or better still, make it outside on something like a camping stove. Take a slow wander and let the warmth of the cup between your hands connect you to the season. Let it calm you, take a breath, and let it reset you. Hope that helps. See ya.
Oh, Lee, that was great.
Lee.
Winter Wobbles.
Winter Wobbles.
That resonates so much.
We always call it like wonky when I'm feeling a bit wonky, when you're a bit off kilter or you're feeling a bit low. And he's so right. It can really take its toll winter when it gets darker and colder and you haven't got that excuse to get outside so much. What great tips, great ways to enjoy nature.
The birds I particularly really enjoy.
Yeah.
We've got 2 herons who I think probably are in the process of mating. We looked it up the other day because we've always had one heron here and all of a sudden this other heron has appeared and one is on the tree to my right as I drive out. The other one is in the field and I feel like I'm part of their soap opera. The whole family does. We're just like, oh my God, the herons are out and they're such magnificent birds. They're like pterodactyls. When I drive home at night after doing the show and they'll suddenly sometimes swoop in front of me in the car and it's just amazing. Birds, amazing creatures.
That's one of the reasons I've really loved growing sunflowers, because you grow your sunflowers and then you keep the heads and you just lay them out and the birds take all the seeds out of them. And I had some pumpkins left over and little pumpkins, cut them in half and then the birds eat all the seeds out of those. And you see, and as they say, robin appears, a loved one is near, which I really love. Every time I see the robin, I'm always... Oh, it's Mum.
It's my
it's
granddad.
Billy,
Yeah, it's always my granddad. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
It's such a lovely thing. And another thing I've really done for the first time this year is actually collecting the leaves, and instead of just putting them in somewhere, it's like, right, these leaves I'm going to mulch, these leaves I'm going to keep, and then these leaves I'm just brushing onto the beds. And I was having a little look the other day, and I've grown some sedums for the first time, and at the base of the sedums, the heads are obviously drying now and have died off, but at the base of the sedums, you can see the new plants, you know, the new little heads growing, and you're like, all that life underneath. So there's so much going on in the ground still across the winter months. And it's so true, Lee, you're absolutely right. Just having that moment to get outside and enjoy a cup of coffee. You know, when the wind isn't, you know, blowing the rain sideways.
Blowing you over, frankly.
When you get those blue skies, those little moments, or a frosty morning, just sitting out in nature and enjoying your garden in a very different way, it really does lift the soul. Or just getting out for a walk, and, you know, even if it's cold, wrapping up warm, just getting out in nature, being under the trees, watching the birds, like you say, watching the sea, wherever it is you really can lift your mood. Because I think if you're feeling a bit low and struggling a little bit, you know, the tendency is to just stay inside and you don't really want to see anyone. And sometimes you really have to make yourself get out there into nature. And it can just, even 20 minutes outside, just really just makes you see the bigger picture, and you don't feel so insular like this. And yeah, it can lift your mood. So some great tips from Lee there.
Crate digging, what have you got behind you?
You mentioned this album before, and I'm often late to the party, but I am now completely obsessed with Geese, as are everybody. Geese, band from Brooklyn. They've been around for a few years. I think they've had a couple of records out before their LP this year. But the last couple of weeks, they've done a couple of gigs, you know, when they do those gigs online, and they did one where they just did covers. Oh my God, they're just extraordinary. Anyway,
they covered New Radicals recently, You Get What You Give, and it was astonishing. Really, really great.
And I definitely think this is going to be in my albums of the year. So Geese Getting Killed. Is it Cameron? Is his name Cameron?
Yeah, Cameron. Singer? He is so, he's a superstar in a very alternative, deep kind of way. Nick Cave is a really big fan. He's come out talking about how important the band are and what a special person Cameron is. Yeah, he's like some kind of sayer. He's amazing.
And he's so unusual. And the sound they make, because it's sort of, you know, the music they make, it's sort of like, no. I mean, I know they've been compared to Television and sort of other bands like that. But they are so great. And when sometimes I remember the first time I heard them, I thought, oh, this is quite unusual, because the sort of notes, the way they use music is sort of quite, I don't know, I'd say angular, but it's probably not. I'm not very good at describing music. But it took me a while to sort of get into them, and now I am completely obsessed. They're brilliant. They've just done a load of gigs in Brooklyn. I think they've done a big American tour, and I was thinking, Joe, you've got to have them on your show, and you've got to have them do a sofa session at some point.
Believe me, I've been trying for quite a long time to make that happen. So fingers crossed that will happen. And I think the gigs all next year have sold out. Maybe they'll do festivals, which is like a really good way for people to get to see bands like that. But I think next year they're going to be the hottest ticket. I mean, they are now.
They really are. I know. So, and the whole family love them as well. They are one of those for the whole family. And I know you recommended this before, but that is my crate digging this week, because I've been particularly obsessing about them this week. So there you go.
There've been some great albums this autumn, like with the Rosalia album, which everyone is still really enjoying. And Andrew Lloyd Webber did a whole piece on his Instagram, a film of him saying that it was the album of the year, if not the decade. And it's a masterpiece. He was just talking about how it is an utter masterpiece, a classical piece of music. So it's got the endorsement of Andrew Lloyd Webber, if people haven't listened to that yet. But it is an extraordinary record. We talked about this before. It's not a bunch of pop hits. Like Geese is not a bunch of pop hits. But if you put it on and you invest and you just let the music wash over you, they're really enriching. They really are culturally important records, I think, this year. But my crate digging, again, I haven't been able to get hold of a copy, because vinyl is really hard to get hold of these days. And especially being super busy and not always being able to get to every different record store to try and find stuff. But James have got a best of coming out. I think it's called the definitive best of, because I think they've had best ofs before, but it's the definitive best of James. And this is a band who I think are so loved by so many people. I know you love them as much as I do.
Love them. Yeah.
And, you know, it's been so great to have them coming back and being together, being a happy band, playing tons of festivals, making new music, which is great as well. And a best of James is going to be a great Christmas present for anybody.
I remember going to see them at, they were supporting David Bowie, and in Manchester, and I guess it was properly when the Daisy T-shirts were out, the Daisy age. And I think they played and we were going to leave, and then someone went, it's going to be David Bowie. We're right. We came to see James, but we did stay and watch David Bowie, and he was amazing. But also, you know, and I've heard you interview them over the years. It's so lovely when you get to see Saul and Jim and Tim, and they are, you know, there's so many of them, and they've been through a hell of a lot as a band, and they are electric.
And the songs are amazing. Born of Frustration, Sound. Oh, the list could just go on and on and on. You know.
Oh, and we didn't get to talk about Manny. Manny, that broke my heart last week, losing Manny. I met him a couple of times, probably with Primal Scream. And, you know, for me, you know, the Stone Roses are my favourite band of all time, really. And, you know, up there with Talking Heads, I think, and Led Zeppelin. And in fact, the list could go on.
They're one of your favourite bands.
But they're one of my favourite bands, and they changed my life, the Stone Roses. And their music we are of that age, of that generation where they came from nowhere and suddenly it was like, this music speaks to me. So he was such a hero of mine anyway. And I remember he was always so adorable. All right, so the fact that he knew my name, he was so easy to talk to. He was such a gorgeous man. And I know lots of people we know knew him really, really well and are devastated. And he'd, you know, such a gorgeous man and had been through such a tough time and had lost his beautiful Imelda. And they leave behind their young boys. And it's absolutely devastating for them as a family, I imagine, you know, and for all his loved ones. So I send love to Manny's special people and, you know, all the Roses fans and the Primal Scream fans and the, you know, the Roses family and the Primal Scream family. That's a real huge loss. And he was such a magnificent man on every front. And I got to see them. I finally got to see them. I saw them twice, and I will never, ever forget seeing the Stone Roses live. They're just the best night. Yeah. So that one really hurt. Bless him. I'm interviewing Phil Collins tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I'm off to interview Phil Collins, who I was obsessed with when I was young. I know you might find it quite random, but I was a really big Genesis fan when
I was too.
13 or 14.
Follow You. I just love that song so much. And In the Air Tonight. I can't wait to get a debrief.
When I was really young, they made me interview him. And I think the director of the film for The Ozone was inspired by the Fabulous Baker Boys when, of course, the gorgeous Michelle Pfeiffer laid across a piano and sang. And that was her character. And so they made me, huge, tall, 5'10" me, lie across a very small upright piano in front of Phil Collins, who is not the tallest of pop stars, and he was so gracious. I was so humiliated and embarrassed because it was like not remotely sexy and not remotely cool, and it was almost as bad as the Oasis interview where I had the hat on, but he was very gracious about it. And
obviously we're going to dig this out now and show everybody.
God, I am not sure whether anyone will find it. Fingers crossed. But it was so humiliating. And he was very gracious about it. And then I interviewed them when they announced that the Genesis were going back out on the road again. And I think it was quite awkward, the interview. So I'm really hoping that the interview with Phil goes really well.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But you know what it's like, Jo, when you interview your heroes?
Yeah.
It's always a bit terrifying, isn't it? And you're like, please be cool. So just be cool.
We were discussing the other day about who are our musical heroes.
Yeah.
And I was saying about Billy Joel. And the family were going, oh, yeah, have you ever interviewed him? And I genuinely, he's the one person I would not want to interview because I just want him to be Billy Joel, the person I adore and from afar. And I saw last year and it was one of the best gigs I've ever enjoyed in my life with my family.
He's so good.
I don't want to meet him. And I'm sure he's really, really lovely, but I just want to have him in a box on the shelf and just kind of worship at his altar every so often.
I had that conversation with a couple of people this weekend. They were like, oh, have you ever interviewed Madonna? And I was like, yeah, and it didn't go well. And I knew it wouldn't. And I'd said to them, don't make me do Madonna, to take someone else. And it didn't go that well. But I remember that you did interview Madonna and it was really good.
I mean, I wouldn't want to say something stupid in front of her because she would definitely let you know. But she's been okay. You know, who knows? We never know. When we interview people, we never know what has happened to them in their day, what stuff they've got going on in their lives, in their heads, how, we talk a lot about social anxiety and mental health. We don't know whether that person is having a really, really tough time, and then they have to go out and talk to idiots like us for a whole day. That's what I've now come to realise. So I don't take offence if anybody is mean to me or difficult, because I'm like, God, you've got stuff going on. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
That's your thing, and I really don't mind.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? But it is that thing now where I'm like, I'm quite happy not to meet my heroes now.
Enjoy the rest of your week, and I shall see you on the other side.
Wish me luck with Phil. Help.
Yeah, good luck.
Love you.
Bye.
Dig It is a Persephonica production.